going on, YouTube? Let me open this garage up. Just woke up not too long ago. It's early morning. Stayed up late last night playing the NBA 2K20. Also, I did start a gaming channel, Big Boy Less Gaming. Right now, I'm feeling 2K20, so that's the main thing I'll be playing. But go ahead and subscribe to that Big Boy Less Gaming. If you're in a 2K20, I'm gonna be playing other games too, but I'm just starting a gaming channel to try to get into that. But in any case, I'm back with another video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit the notification button, hit like, share, and subscribe. Now what I'm gonna get into on this channel is the, like I said off my last video, my AC in my truck. Let me get behind my truck. My AC in my truck isn't working. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace the AC hose and charge it up, and I'm gonna replace the orifice tube. And I'm gonna take y'all on that journey with me. Since I gotta do it, why not record it, right? So if you have to change these or you have issues, I'm gonna show y'all the problem with it also. Check it out, check out this video, give it a thumbs up, share the video, subscribe to the channel, the whole nine. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip this camera around and get started on it in a minute. All right, well, my part came from Amazon today. I guess first thing first would be to check and make sure it is the right part. So let's have a look at it. This is what mine look like. This is how it comes new. I'm gonna show you the problem I had with my old one. It looks like the right part so far. I'm gonna finish taking it out of this pack and take a look at it. But it looks like the right part so far. Put this box over here. I'll receipt in the box in case I gotta return it if it's the wrong part. I wanna return it. Put the bubble stuff out the way. And as you can see, we got a part number. You can see that this is an AC Delco, so it's OEM, so you know the shit was expensive, but it's an AC Delco part. That's the beauty of Amazon. You can order AC Delco right from Amazon, pretty much everything. I order a lot of stuff from Amazon. That's AC Delco, but this is the part number if you need it. This is for my truck. I have front and rear AC. That's why you see those two holes just like that. I'm gonna show you what's going on with that in a minute. I'm gonna move this out the way. Just kind of lay it up here. I'm not gonna need my air compressor to install that. I don't want it to keep falling though. There we go. Now also, I got the cans of Freon. No place sell cans of Freon cheaper. I'm gonna put it back in the truck. No place sell cans of Freon cheaper than Walmart. And I bought 5 cans. 5 cans, yeah, that's a lot. Each can is, well, all 5 of these cans come up to 60 ounces. My truck, let me have the front and rear AC, and I looked it up. This year Cadillac, the first Cadillac they made, my 99 Cadillac Escalade, 12 ounces cans. This year truck is the only one that takes so much Freon, and I had to get the peg oil. But this truck takes, it's recommended 64 ounces of Freon. That is insane, but I got 60 ounces, so I'm gonna be 4 ounces short of a complete foot off, but that should be good enough to have me ice cold. As you can see, it's a beautiful day out, nice and cloudy and cool. That's the most important. I wanted to start on it yesterday, but it was too hot, man. So I said, I'm gonna let things cool off. You can see this is my old one. I went on and popped the line loose last night. Both gaskets on there. Yeah, it had a real nice tight seal. I haven't had any issues with that, so that's a good thing. And I'm gonna show you the problem that I was having. Just to see that crack right there. Let me try to zoom in. See that crack? My holes pretty much started deteriorating. And that was my problem right there. It started leaking slowly. I can charge it up, it may last a week or two, but then it started slowly leaking. I didn't have to use any dye or anything like that because I was just able to see where the crack was at, and it was green oozing all up out of here. So, I mean, it's probably the original holes for the car, the truck, so gotta replace it, right? Now, as you saw in that other holes, it's just one bolt here that I already took out. That bolts it down. You have to remove, let me zoom back out. Sorry, let me zoom back out. So you can see. All right, trying to zoom out and cut the picture. But I'm pretty much gonna have to remove the air cleaner housing, all of this, which is gonna help me reach my space. And there's gonna be two connections right there. One going to the accumulator and the other going down to send off for the rear AC unit, the rear AC. And then the other holes, what you see here, I got a few things zip tied to it that I'm gonna have to cut. And it comes out in between the radiator. So I'm gonna have to take this front cover off. This whole grill off. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with that because I don't want to spend my whole day doing this project. Look how dirty my hands are already. I'm gonna wipe my hands a little bit. I'll probably go ahead and throw some gloves on for this. I don't have to really feel anything with that touch. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this, show you guys exactly what needs to get done. Hopefully I can prop my camera in a good spot so you can see, and I'll get with you guys in a minute. All right, I'm back. I found a decent spot to capture what I'm going to be doing. Try to adjust it just a little bit so I can work without having to hold the camera. You are going to need a few tools. One is a crescent wrench and the other one is a flathead to get started with. This bolt that was here is a 15 millimeter. That's what I use to take that bolt out. I'm just going to twist this. I might have to get my step ladder because, of course, my truck sit up. I have some big rims on it, so it's going to be hard to reach everything. But pretty much take that off. Take this off. You want to unplug the temp sensor, the mass airflow sensor, or the airflow sensor. Yeah, mass airflow sensor. Disconnect this. Take that off. And set that somewhere. I did a tune-up not too long ago, so this filter is new. And as you can see, this whole unit comes off all together. And just move it all out the way. Now that that's moved out the way, I like additional space, so I'm going to move this also. You just kind of lift on it and it kind of just pops out the way. Now, as you can see, I have plenty of space to work. I'm gonna unplug this accumulator also, just to have that cable out the way. I have to take this big nut off. I'm gonna use my crescent wrench for that. And the harder one is gonna be the one down here, close to the bottom. So I'm gonna have to take those two off, which are gonna be my next two steps before I take the grill off. To make things, hopefully this crescent wrench is big enough. If not, I do have a bigger one. This is a 12-inch crescent wrench, and yes, it is big enough, which is good. Sometimes I like to tighten a little bit more just to get it moving before I loosen it. Very often that tends to help as long as you don't try to over tighten it first. Just a little mechanic tip. I didn't have any refrigerant in my system either, so it's not like any blew up into the air or something like that. If your system is full, then I would suggest getting it drained at an auto shop before you start disconnecting all of these lines. But if yours leaking like mine was, then I'm gonna have to use 2 crescents for that one, which is cool because I do have another crescent wrench. I'm gonna cut these zip ties off right quick. That's connected to this upper hose and start taking this front off. And I believe these are 10mm bolts. So I'm gonna grab these 10mm bolts right quick. Of course, I don't have 2 12 crescents. It's come in handy. I'm gonna have to use this 15, which is ridiculously big. Hopefully it fits. And I can just kind of lock it in place. I'm gonna take this front cover off. If I can get this socket off, I just bought this little cheap socket set. And of course, all the sockets hard as heck to get off, right? Take a lot of force to get them off. But this is a 10, like I said. Got my ratchet. Get this on. Get this bolt out, get the other side bolt out. Whatever other bolts I gotta take out. If I'm not mistaken, I don't have much holding that up. Now this bolt is a whole different size. Of course it would be right, like a 1/4 inch bolt. So let's try to get this 1/4 inch bolt off. Well, you couldn't see me take that off. Now I'm looking at the camera. I'm just gonna start taking this grill piece off. Hopefully you can see it a little bit. And it's a little better. So far, I just took this one bolt off over here. I'm gonna take this bolt off over here. If I had a right side socket, which I do. They usually 10s here, but I got one 10 and one 9/32. It's an older truck, so I done took this thing off a million times. Probably lost the bolt. You know how it go. You just find the bolt that'll fit in there after you lose them. I need a Phillip head. Take these side marker headlights out. Because the side marker headlights are screwed in 2 here. It's like I'm gonna bring the camera around and show you. As you guys see, mine cracked all up too. But I thought I took these both two top bolts out. Typically, sometimes you may have to take these bolts out, depending on how good in shape your vehicle is. Mine not so great, so only those 2 bolts hold the top. Then in the eyeglass, in the side markers, you got Phillip heads. So I'm gonna take these Phillip heads out. One, take the other one out. Perfect day. I'm glad I waited. It was nice and cool this morning. It looked like it's going to storm, but the forecast not to storm, but looks like it's going to be a cool day. So that's one out. Then you just pop this out. See, you got the little tab in there right there. Push in. Then you got to take these things loose. Take these connections loose. They just twist. pressure on, twist and pull. You don't want to mess the bulbs up. Show you this one. I'll show you one side, I'm just gonna do the other side. And there goes that part. As you can see, this one is in excellent condition. I probably bought it new. So all my old ones was in bad condition. All right, now I showed you that. So just do the same thing on the other side, and then you got a screw down up in there. And that's what's holding that whole thing on both sides. So I'm gonna finish taking those screws out, and I will get on to the next thing. Try to prop the camera up. Probably need extension with that screw. I got my extension. It looked like it's a 9/32 bolt also. Came right out. So now this side is completely loose. So I'm gonna do the same to the other side. Like I say, the only reason I'm doing this, I'm gonna show you. I like to work easy as possible. It only take an extra 5 minutes or so to take this whole front off. And I'm gonna show you how easy it is to access the hose connection up here. So the hose connection up here, that's the accumulator. I'm replacing my orifice tool just because, you know, why not? I got it all broken down. No reason not to replace it, right? And of course the one line goes, it has to be cooled, so it goes to the condenser. So that's what I'm going to be replacing one line for the condenser. Well, one line goes to the condenser. Now the hardest part is probably going to be getting that screw off. I go to the other side. It's in good shape. Everything is set to the side. Let me get that one screw out. Screw hang right out. And you kind of just want to fish your bulbs through. You don't want to mess up your light bulbs. Most cases you got to do stuff like this. Set this off to the side. Most cases you got to do stuff like this if you're doing HID lights or something like that. A lot of times they make it easier, but you can see they go the whole grill. Just off of those few bolts. 2 at the top, 2 bolts to the end, and the 2 lights on the side. Now I have easy access pretty much to everything. But as you can see, this is the condenser, and that main line comes into the condenser. And I believe it's this top one. Yep, it's this top line. That top line goes into the condenser. So that's the line that I'm going to have to take off. May need a little work getting it off, but that's why I took all of this off, because now look, it's pretty much the only way to access that. So you got to take that off. So I'm going to go ahead and bust this line loose, since I have it off now, and I take that line off, and the whole thing is completely off. It's that simple. So I'm going to do those 2 real fast, And then I'll come back to the video after I have installed the other one, or when I'm about to install the other one, or when I got the other one completely off, to show you, finish showing you the progress. But it's that simple. In a minute. All right, I done made it so far. I just wanted to show this. This is the orifice tube part number that I use for my 99 Escalade 5.7 engine. It goes for Tahoe, Suburban, all of those also. Sold it on Amazon too. Probably was only like $3 or $4. This is what it looks like. Original equipment, AC Delco. As you can see, the filter is pretty clear. Now, the one I took out, if I can find it, also the location of it, it comes out of this line. I had to bend it up to be able to get it out. Took a little fishing because a part of it broke, which is connected to that line. So it's like the high side line that goes into the firewall. That is the one that is where the orifice tube is located. This thin high side line. Not the whole tube that I took off, but the thin high side line. This is what it looks like. Oh, see how gunked up and nasty it looks? It's a major factor. This is a filter for your AC refrigerant, pretty much. And I'm pretty sure this never been replaced, so I'm going to replace it. And the filter end sticks inside the line down there. And then you assemble it back together. Just a quick stop so I can show you, like I said, pretty much the whole process. And that is me replacing with a new orifice tube. You can see, brand new, you can see right through. All right, the video is winding down. I finally got all of this front connection back together. You can see that took a little work getting that like that. I got the orifice tube back in place, which is the first thing I did. I just tightened up this bottom line. I just wanted to give another tech tip, which was to remove this. This freed up all this space over here that allowed me to be able to wrench that down together, because this is nothing bolting it down, it's loose. So, and you want to make sure it's snug tight. And now I'm tightening up this top one, snug tight. I'm gonna go ahead and pour the peg oil inside the accumulator. Inside the AC compressor. I'm gonna pour it in there. I'm gonna put that line on. I'm gonna tighten it down. And when I get to the point where I'm gonna charge the AC system back up, start putting the cans in there. And then after that, we look for leaks. So once I do that, I'm gonna come back to the video. We look for leaks. If there's nothing leaks, then I put all the front back together, and it's a done, successful job. In a minute. All right, YouTube, I got a little ahead of myself. I almost forgot to make an ending to this video, but I'm in the ending stages. This is the old one. I'm just throwing it in my trash can for now. I'm probably gonna have to take it somewhere and get rid of it, but you can see that split. You can see that. That was the main problem of my AC system leaking. I bought that line from the junkyard when I first put the motor in my car 3 years ago, and it lasted, so I'm not too messed up about it. But it's time to get a new one. As you can see, I'm charging up my system. I'm working on the last can, and may not even take the whole last can. If it doesn't, that's fine. You see, it is cold in there in the car. It's pretty much a home way to do it. I've been twisting and turning the can. Stay twisted. I do this for 10 seconds. I do that for 10 seconds. This for 10 seconds. That for 10 seconds. And help me go ahead and push through the system. This is only my 4th can, but it's only 48. The car says it takes up to the maximum is 64. I was going to put one more can in there, but I may let it run its cycle and then put the other can in there tomorrow. I'm only putting 60. I got the liquid peg oil, and I just poured it on the low side of the AC compressor, and until it was filled to the top. And that took 8 ounces. It's recommended to have 11 ounces.
All I had was 8, so I just put 8 in there. If I gotta add 3 later, I will add it through this hose way. As you can see, just set this down. Everything is back together. Put the hose on good on. I can look inside there. You see that line way down there. Now, one thing you want to check for before you put all of this stuff on is check for leaks. Like I was saying, one thing you want to check for before you put all this stuff on is to check for leaks. So you start it up, you start charging the system, and you look at all the connection fittings and look for leaks. One side where the orifice tube that I took off, that line did get frosty cold, and then it went back to normal, so that's good. That's pretty much the way you want it. You want it to be able to push through the system. I turn my AC on high. I control my AC clutch manually with a switch. That's a whole nother, you got to be a certain level mechanic to do something like that. But I wired it up to switch so it can pull through the system faster. And no leaks at none of the connections. So I installed everything back on the vehicle. I kept charging it up. This is the 4th can. It's nice and cold on the inside. I don't see any leaks. If I do have an issue, then the next thing will probably be the condenser. The accumulator seemed fine, so that would probably be the only other thing is the condenser. It could be another line, but I don't see any line leaks, so that's all good news. If you do have a small leak at a line connection, one way to try to fix that is to double up the O-rings. Sometimes you can get away with that. At least, worst case, it will buy you time. If not, then whatever line is leaking from, you will just have to go ahead and replace it. So, this is pretty much it. Like I say, it's nice, crispy, and cold in the truck. Just the way I want it. The back is like frostbite cold. And, oh man, yeah, it feels good. So good. Woo! I can just lay in here and go to sleep right now. That's how good it feels. Just the way I wanted it. Just the way I needed it. Like I say, I'm down here in Dallas, Texas, so it get hot down here. You can't play around. You gotta have AC. Now the amount of work I just did just to put some prices out there real quick for the end of this video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. It's down in the left corner. But so I bought the line off of Amazon. The AC line itself, the main line, cost $125. The orifice tube was $5, so that's $130. I bought 5 cans of Freon and a peg oil. So I bought 60 ounces of Freon, 134A, and peg oil. Mine take peg oil 150. Make sure peg oil is different, so make sure you look up the specs of your vehicle before you just add peg oil to it. Mine take peg 150, so that's what I put in it. Some, they got peg 100, they got different kinds of peg oil, so you want to make sure you put the right one in your vehicle. All in all, I spent roughly about $200 and did the labor myself. If I wasn't able to do this labor myself, and you see how simple it is, just a little bit of time of work, maybe about beginner level, maybe 2 hours max. But the longest part is the charging it up, because it's pulling it through the fresh system, because the system didn't have any in it. 2 hours max. If I took it to a shop, something like that probably would have cost me close to $1,000, between $800 and $1,000. So I saved myself a lot of money by being able to do it myself. Like I said, you saw how bad the orifice tube was. It was a nightmare. So I had to replace it. It's probably the original orifice tube, completely clogged. But my AC was still working, so it must not have been horribly bad, but obviously, if I'm going to replace that hose and recharge the whole system, I want to go ahead and replace the orifice tube. In any case, this big boy Les staying cool as I possibly can when I'm riding in my truck. Peace.